Salute to all the diehards. This is Die Hard Giants Live, and I'm your host. I am Jarrell on IG and Twitter. As you can see, I got Steph here. Queen Steph. How you doing, Steph?
I'm good. I'm really, really good about and excited about talking about what the Giants did in the draft and in the undrafted free agents. So super excited.
Yep, I got a list of them. I don't know about all the information I got on the undrafted people that we
Mm,
got because we got a nice little list. I think it's like 8 or 9 people. I got to double check, but it's a couple of them that actually might make the team, and we'll talk about that too. Salute everybody in the chat. Dwayne, Corey Lee in the chat. Salute, 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 fellas. And let's get it going, man. We here for a good time, not a long time, right, Steph?
exactly. I like
Let's go. So, okay, the NFL draft obviously was a couple weeks ago. I think we did pretty good overall. Um, I might as well let the cat out of the bag. I give us like a B. Because of the trade that we made. I wasn't really a big fan of the trade, but we'll definitely talk about that. I got a slide about that too. But first, I wanted to talk about a few signs that we got in the middle, man. Like we got some defensive tackles on the roster.
that.
Between Harris and Reader, I think both of them will probably start.
Wow.
Fotu will probably come off the bench, be a depth piece. And they got another kid from the practice from Kansas City's practice squad. His name is escaping me right now, but yeah, we actually signed somebody else today too. So, full disclosure, we might have the worst defensive tackle group in the league right now.
Wow.
We obviously had a monster in Dexter Lawrence before he got traded, but other than that, the only people behind him was Darius Alexander, who was like a I think it's third or fourth round pick last year.
Hmm.
We had Nacho last year, but he jumped ship and went somewhere else. So we don't really have depth in the middle on defense. But now, like beggars can't be choosers. The dudes that we got, like they're going to start. They're veterans. They're not world beaters, anything like that. They probably play about half the snaps, both of them combined.
Hmm.
But I think it's just going to be a rotation. We have another draftee that's going to be in the middle. We'll talk about him in the later rounds. We picked him in the 6th round. But yeah, we got some beef in the middle now, finally. Yeah, Reader and Harris, I think it's going to be pretty good. Futu, like I said, is going to be a death piece. I don't know if you know anything about them. They're not household names, but yeah, a lot of people don't know anything about them. They're not Pro Bowlers, but they are veterans that have been in the league um, for a number of years now. Both of them are over 30. So we got some grown men in the room at least.
Yeah. I think it's just hoping that the sum is greater than the parts, right? That they just kind of come together and become cohesive. We'll see.
Right. Exactly. And plus, with the people that we got in the middle, none of them are pass rushers. So it's
Mhm.
not like Dexter Lawrence. That's why Dexter Lawrence was such a unicorn. Nose tackles usually aren't pass rushers. They just mainly man the middle, just be a big guy, tickle up double teams, and be strong in the run game. That's what these dudes are. Like we won't get that much pressure up the middle unless it's some stunts with our linebackers and stuff like that. But we in the middle like that, we really don't need like pass rushers up the middle like Dexter Lawrence. If we have like stellar outside pressure.
Right.
And plus the linebackers that we have, we can blitz up the middle too. Like we don't need Dexter Lawrence to be successful. Dexter Lawrence is still Dexter Lawrence, and people shouldn't, expect these dudes to be Dexter Lawrence. That's all.
Right. Just be solid. And like you said, the pass rush is going to come from somewhere else.
Exactly. Um, One of those pass rushers might be Arvell Reese. This is the list of the draftees that we got this year. Solid 7 guys. Like I said, we made a trade, so we don't have a 4th rounder, and we don't have a 4th rounder this year.
Hmm.
We had 3 6 rounders, 6th round players, just like 7th round players. End of the draft, anything after 5, if they make the team, that's a good thing. But they're not, they might not make the team. They don't necessarily have guaranteed roster spots. But for a team like ours, who is young, new coach coming in, all these dudes might make the team and actually might make a difference. Like this is supposed to be a foundation for John Harbaugh going forward.
Is it fair to say that the 6th and 7th round picks are usually special teams or not necessarily?
They definitely can be depending on who you pick. A lot of like an offensive lineman. We got J.C. Davis. We'll talk about.
Mhm,
He's obviously not going to play special teams,
mhm,
but yeah, Jack Kelly definitely. We'll talk about that because that's one of the reasons I think we drafted him. The big guys on offense and defense probably not going to play special teams, but for the most part, if you're a cornerback or a linebacker or even a wide receiver or running back
mhm,
on the offense, yeah, if you want to make the roster, you damn well better get on special teams if they ask you to.
right.
Because if you was good enough to actually have a roster spot other than special teams, your ass would have got drafted in the first 3 or 4 rounds. But
Right,
not saying that these players are bad. It's just is what it is. Like it's a pecking order, just like any other sport.
right.
So let's go. First, Arvell Reese. Arvell Reese is so good, Steph. That in our last show, we had the mock draft. I didn't even talk about him because I didn't think we was gonna get him.
I thought you was disappointed when we got him.
Oh no.
Okay.
Oh no. The reason I like you because a little disappointed because I did want Caleb Downs, full disclosure.
Mhm,
But I wanted Caleb Downs knowing that he was going to be off the board.
right.
Like if we're going to talk about the impact like a defender will make and the versatility and stuff,
Mhm,
like I don't want to go over like the strengths and weaknesses line by line if people
mhm,
can see it on the screen because it's
mhm,
going to be a lot of reading. I got a slide for every player
mhm, mhm,
today.
mhm.
But yeah, his strengths, like he's a versatile player, strong hands. He's only 20 years old. He's not even old enough to drink yet.
Wow.
In his position, he's one of the strongest players in his position, one of the most athletic, runs a 4.4. It's nothing. He doesn't have that many weaknesses other than him being a tweener because he played, inside linebacker, and he was on the rush. Like on third downs, they had him rushing the quarterback, but on first and second, they had him standing up,
Mhm,
kind of like Abdul Carter last year. But Abdul Carter has a lot more experience when it comes to pass rushing.
right.
He's a way better pass rusher. He has pass rushing moves that he's formulated over the years. Arvell Reese just ended up being a pass rusher like last year. He doesn't have a whole lot of moves other than him being athletic.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's why I think we drafted him to be a linebacker. And I believe it's the first linebacker, not counting Carter last year because I view him as an edge, even though he can play both.
Mhm.
This is the first linebacker we drafted in the first round since like Carl Banks.
Wow.
Like it goes back that long. Like we had a long line of not picking that position or maybe not valuing that position,
Mhm,
especially high. Linebackers aren't usually picked in the top five. It's just a position value type deal. But we got him. I'm glad we got him. He's a freak of nature on the field. Hopefully, in a number of years, he'll be like the leader and what they call a green dot. Like he calls all the plays, get everybody in line, like a captain on the defense.
mhm.
Now he won't be like that because he's a rookie, but I wouldn't expect him to be that as a rookie. Like that's rare. Like unless he like Ray Lewis and just cerebral,
Right.
or Luke Kuechly, like first ballot Hall of Famers are usually like green dots their rookie year and stuff like that. I don't expect him to be that way, but Arvell Reese is a monster. Like I can't wait for you to actually see him.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So, you disagreed with neighbors that we should have went with what was his name?
Caleb Downs. That's who I wanted
Oh,
at first.
yeah, Caleb Downs.
Yeah, but he's a safety, so positional value is a negative when it comes to that too. When it comes to safety, both safety and linebacker.
Yeah.
But if I had to choose between, just because of Arvell Reese's versatility and the violence that he plays with,
Mhm.
we need that more than we need somebody on the back end at safety. Even though Caleb Downs is one of those Hall of Fame projected green dot leader type captain dudes on your defense too. Arvell Reese can give you that, but he's just a bigger, stronger, faster, more violent football player.
Yeah. Yeah.
Clean off the field. Um, yeah, one of the captains on their defense who have like four players picked in the first round on their defense.
Wow.
No, I'm sorry, three players. The fourth one was picked early. He was supposed to be picked in the first round. Katie McDowell, a defensive tackle. I actually wanted to get him in a second,
Hmm.
but somebody leapfrogged us and got
Oh
him
yeah,
right before
yeah,
our pick. So he was going to be the fourth player out of Ohio State to be picked in the first round. He should have been a first rounder. He just slipped a little bit.
yeah.
The pick that we got Dexter Lawrence for, number 10, CC Malinois. Francis. He wants to go by CC. That's his nickname.
Hmm.
But yeah, he's another versatile. Like that's the theme of the first round:
Hmm.
young and versatile. He's an offensive tackle, but he could kick inside at guard. At least that's what he's projected to be. That's what they said at the press conference. Like he played right tackle most of his time in Miami,
Hmm.
but he's versatile enough, quick enough to actually kick inside. And he's really powerful. And I think this actually might be this. Like he's plug and play. At least that's what we're supposed to think
Hmm.
because we have picked an offensive lineman in the top 10 that didn't pan out before.
Yeah, multiple
He, multiple times. And look, and Marinello is just a blue chipper out of high school, highly talented in college, first round pick, just like the other dudes were. And it's always a coin flip to see who will be successful. You can't really call it.
times.
Like a lot of people crap on Joe Shane about, the picks that he did his first year.
Yeah. Hmm.
Evan Neal, anybody would have picked Evan Neal in the first round.
Right.
I would have picked him. Anybody with a football brain would have picked Evan Neal. Like the fact that he didn't pan out, I don't put that on Joe Shane. That's on the player themselves
Right.
and coaching too.
Right. There was another blue chip, not Downs. Downs with 7, right?
No, Downs went after Marino. I think he
Okay.
went.
So that was the question I have for you.
Yeah.
Would you have wanted both of them?
Oh yeah. See, that's the thing. That's why a lot of people. That's why Neighbors was heated, not because of R.L. Reese.
Mhm.
He was really heated because of the Marino pick. Because we thought everybody thought not just him, it was me too. I wanted either one of them. In our mock draft, I had Caleb Downs at 5 and Marino at 10. I don't know
Mhm.
if you remember, but we
Mhm.
got Reese and Marino. The only reason Caleb Downs wasn't my 10th pick because I picked him at 5.
Right.
But it's positional value. He's an offensive lineman, plug and play. He might be our next offensive guard in the Pro Bowl for like the next 6 to 8 years.
Right.
Caleb Downs is still, he's a safety. You would think that he might can, you know, you might could get somebody else to fill that role, not
Mhm.
somebody in the top 10.
Right. Gotcha.
It would have been a luxury pick to pick Downs instead of Marino. I know his best player available, but you never know who their best player available is. They're always going to lie and say it's the person that they picked.
Right.
So,
I mean, listen, you think about the Giants' history on the offensive line. Can we please get somebody that we can plug in and play? I'm not
right.
going to even say 10 years, just 5 straight years. You know what I just feel like that position, we have not had a lot of luck throughout the forget the years, the decades. I don't feel like probably going back to Coughlin and that offensive line with his son-in-law, was it Snee?
Yeah, Chris
Like
Snee?
that offensive line. I feel like since then, have we had a decent offensive line since then?
No, we have not. Christie, who's actually still with the organization and probably had a part to play in picking Mamanoa because he's with the scouting staff,
Okay.
obviously looking at offensive linemen. So if Christie gives him um, the heads up to draft him, he could have did the same thing for Evan Neal too. So yeah, I take that like I said, you might have to, when it comes to stuff like that, you never know. I expect Francis Marinoa to be that dude though. Like I think he's going to be that guy that finally get a second contract that we actually can pay. Oh, we I don't a lot of times we forget, not just me and you, but just people in general because he's so good and he's hurt almost every year. Andrew Thomas was a hit and might be arguably the best left tackle in the game right now.
Right.
So as much as we say like we always miss, he was a hit by
He's
David
hurt.
Gettleman, by David Gettleman of all people.
Yeah.
And other than being injured, he's been great.
Yeah.
He's been great. Like if Andrew Thomas would actually stay healthy, he will be in the Hall of Fame one day. That's how good he is. He'll be a perennial Pro Bowler and an All Pro.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, Maui Noah is a great pick. I give this A plus even. I don't care about one and downs. That was my personal pick
Hmm.
because I had him in 5 in the mock, but I wanted Maui Noah at 10.
Right. Yeah. And they
Now,
do you think um, they're gonna move him to guard?
mhm,
Um,
slide back.
you think that's gonna be? I mean, it's hard to tell. I guess we'll know in preseason what the
Right,
learning curve is gonna be for him in particular.
right. It's always going to be a transition.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like whether he played tackle or guard. Like if you could play tackle just like Evan Neal, you could play tackle all your life. They put you on the right side, they make it seem like you can't play football no more.
Is Evan Neal still on the team?
Yes, he is. He actually signed with the
What?
team. He signed for.
He signed what he
he,
said.
he is one of the. He didn't get an extension,
Hmm.
but instead of moving on, I think he wanted to give it another shot. I think it's personal for him, and I get it. Like the type of player that he is a blue chipper. Like always been, the ceiling was always high for him. This is the first time he's ever felt failure in
Hmm.
his life when it comes to football. So I guess for him, he wants to see this through. But we definitely could have. Like I think he was a free agent. He just didn't go anywhere, and we signed him to like a 1 year deal, which for like little money.
And he'll stay at guard. You think?
He might need to stay off the team. Like whether we play tackle or guard at this point, I don't even care. Like I kind of chalk it up as a loss when it comes to him and Jalen Hyatt. Even though I think personally, I both loved him in the draft.
What about Banks?
Banks too. Like I did not mind that pick either. And we picked him 25th. Like he was late first round, but he was still definitely a first round pick when we drafted him.
Right.
That wasn't a bad pick.
Right.
Everybody gave Joe Shane like an A or a B for that. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
these players don't pan out. It's not the person who's picking fault most of the time. Sometimes it is. Don't get me wrong, but
Right. Like if you
yeah,
reach in for a player or something like that. But
right.
yeah.
None of these dudes were reaches that Joe Shane did. That's why when it comes to stuff like that, it's not the drafting. It was more like how he let people go outside of the building. For me
Right.
personally, it's not the draft.
Right.
Um, but yeah, I think it's definitely going to be a transition for Maui Noah, but we'll see what happens. Hold on, let me see what some of the guys are saying in the chat out here. Hold on, let's see what they say. Oh, Corey said he give the team a B minus. I agree with that. Overall, Dwayne
Yeah.
asked him will he give the grades. Cool. Dwayne said, yeah, Downs got picked by 11, but I kind like
Cowboys.
the pick after to the Cowboys. Okay, that's cool. All right, so Colton Hood, day 2. When I think it was Buffalo who leapfrogged us to get Caden McDowell. That was the defensive tackle that I thought that was going to take
Hmm.
Dexter Lawrence's spot, even though he's not Dexter Lawrence. I thought I just knew we was going to grab him, especially like the pick before. I was like, oh, we gonna get the guy that I wanted in the second.
Hmm.
But then we got leapfrog and we got Colton Hood, which is a very, very nice constellation prize. Like we need an outside corner because of Banks, like you said before, him being,
Hmm.
a quote unquote bust for now. But yeah, man, he's a press bully. Like these are the type of dudes that we like. Long arms, really quick. He's fast. Um, nice vertical. He's explosive. Only thing about him, he could just be a little aggressive and handsy, and we got to watch for penalties. But Colton Hood is a football player. Like he smacked people around. Like he's in the run game. Like he put his shoulder to people. Like he put hats on people. Like he hits like a linebacker.
Hmm.
Like he'll pick a running back up and slam him. That's the type of mentality that he has. Like he plays like a safety in the run game. But overall, he might be the best press man corner in the draft. Like it wasn't that many corners picked in the first round. I think he might have been. I think he was the third cornerback picked in the entire draft. I believe. Like it wasn't that many first round talents this year.
Right.
And some people actually have him as the best corner in the draft. It all depends on what you're looking for and who you ask.
Right.
I think he comes from a football family. Roderick Hood is his uncle. I think he played DB. I think he might have played for the Giants.
I can
I,
look it up. What's his name again?
I think his name was Rod Hood, Roderick. I would have to look it up. He was either he was on defense. I think he was either a linebacker or a cornerback or safety or something like that. I like his name, I'm trying to remember him, but I saw it on the. I didn't know that this was his nephew,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, his dad played football, but his uncle played in the NFL. I think his brother plays running back in college now for somebody. Like he
Mm-hmm.
comes from a football family, like he's a
Yeah.
football lifer, and I think that's the reason he has the mentality that he has.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But other than that, yeah, I think he's one of those plug and play people too. He might not start because we got some veterans starting, even though Bank's not gonna start either. He
Mm-hmm.
still has to uh Posting the Debo as our starting one. We got rid of Cordell Flott, but we got Greg Newsom from Jacksonville. So I think he's going to start on the other side. But Colton Hood, he can slip in there as the third corner, outside corner, and or he might could start at the end of the year. You never know.
Yeah.
Oh, and plus, just because he was picked in the second round, don't rule out special teams for him either.
Wow.
That's
Okay.
because of the type of mentality that he has. If you're not starting, if you're on John Harbaugh's team, if you're not a starter,
Mm-hmm.
you can play special teams. Like he don't play that. Like ain't no. I guess you can. It just depends on who you are. But if you're not a starter, yeah, if he wants you to play special teams, you should.
And that might be that philosophy may have been why he's historically had good special teams because of the talent that he puts on, that he puts on that. We ain't talking about fifth and fourth, third, fourth,
Right.
second rounder. You not starting. We need you on special teams.
Right. Like Harbaugh put a starting wide receiver back there to return punts in a heartbeat, depending on who that starting wide receiver is and if he's actually good at what he does back there.
Right.
This is the trade that I was talking about. In the third round, we did not have a third round pick.
Hey.
That was because of Jackson Dart, though. So we got Jackson Dart last year. The
Mm-hmm.
reason we moved up in the first round to get Jackson Dart, and we had to give up our third round pick this year.
Right.
Only thing because of that, I'm gonna talk about the player they picked. Well, let me talk about the player that we picked
That's a
first.
lot.
Exactly. That's why I really did not like the trade. But I guess I should have talked about the player first because it's not like I don't like the player. I don't like what we gave up for him.
That's a fact. He
And
is
that's
a monster.
that's Malachi. But speaking of monsters, I know you just use that figuratively, but like when you look at his measurables, he's like 6'4", 220.
Yeah. Yeah.
By the time he gets out of training camp, he'd be 6'4", like 220, 225, depending on what they do with him in the weight room.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing about Malachi Fields when it comes to being an outside receiver, I'm a type of person that wide receiver is my number one position that I like looking at. It was always been my number one position. I study that constantly. I looked at all his tape and a lot of all the other wide receivers tape this year. That's like the only position that I look at like a
Mm-hmm.
whole bunch of people. Malachi Fields, he's the type of player I usually don't like because he's not a good route runner. He got slow feet, but like you said, he's a monster. So even though he's never open, he's always open.
Right. But this is what I've heard about him though. That I don't know if you want to call it motor, but
Mhm.
he'll have some games in which he just looks like really, really good. And
Mhm.
then he'll have other games where you're like, what the hell is going on?
Right.
Like, I don't know if that's a motor issue, if he's easily intimidated, if it's he doesn't prepare to be a monster game, if it's a mental thing. I'm not sure what it is, but that was one of the criticisms because I listened to who did you tell me to listen to?
Steve
Um,
Smith.
Steve Smith. He broke
Absolutely.
it all the way down.
Yep. For anybody out there, if you want to know about wide receivers and prospects in general, he talk about a couple other prospects too,
Mhm.
like uh, outside of wide receiver, but it's rare. But he really goes through like all the wide receivers. To me, Steve Smith, he's one of my favorite players growing up. I think he should be in the Hall of Fame. He will be soon, not first ballot or anything, but I think he's going to get in. Somebody his size with that mentality. Now he's a scout. So good of a scout that multiple teams consult with him during the draft, us being one of them. He's already talked about it, having multiple conversations with Joe Shane last year and this year. I'm pretty sure they asked him about Malachi Fields, excuse me, and his shortcomings or whatever, and they probably have a specific plan for him. I don't think he's going to start, but if you got big ass Carl Malone over there as a power forward playing wide receiver in the red zone, think
Right.
about you have Malik Neighbors on one side, Malachi Fields on another. We have a new tight end and Isaiah Likely, and we still have Theo Johnson. Like, but that's a
Mhm.
big like you got to think about the offensive weapons, the type of package we can do in the red zone. I think he's the type of player that's perfect for situations like that.
Yeah.
He ain't Terrell Owens though. Let's
And
just
let
say
me tell
that.
you something. His drop percentage better not be more than 2%. Like, do not drop a ball. Like, do not drop a ball. 6'4", wasn't Plexico like 6'4", 6'5"?
Yes, yes, he was.
Come on. I mean, I know he's not Plexico. But I
He's
just
not.
need you to let me tell you. This is something that just I it just
Irks you.
it irks when a wide receiver cannot catch misses a ball and
Yep.
it's a catchable ball. That's your job. That's your
Word.
only job. Run your route. It's a catchable. Oh my goodness. I can't. I can't.
Well, let's just say this: he has better hands than Darius Slayton. Let's just say that. I know
Yeah,
that's where you
Slayton.
want. That's
Woo,
where you're
Slayton
getting at.
has gotten better too. That
He
first
has.
season or two, oh my, I couldn't take it. I just couldn't take it.
But then remember in the end of the year, Jackson Dart was cooking, and he dropped like two bombs though, like on two different occasions when it come to Slayton. Still last year, even though he has gotten better, he's still inconsistent when it come to that man. Like,
And
and
the
I think
Giants just holding on to him though. I mean, just holding on.
yo, we let Saquon Barkley go for the same money that we gave Slayton the next year. That ain't one of these shows though, Steph. You trying to
I
get me in
know.
the bag?
Okay,
We talk
okay.
about
You
Malachi.
right. You right. You right.
You piss me off all over again.
You right.
Yeah, but like Corey said, the routes can be coached up. Don't get me wrong. If we have a good wide receiver coach, I believe. Chad Hall. He used to be a wide receiver of Colorado. I remember. Or was it? Hawaii. But anyway, we have a good wide receiver coach. I believe. He could definitely work on his routes. Usually, though, not saying that that's not something you can't teach. Usually, good route runners in the NFL were good route runners in college, and even if they don't draft aren't drafted high, it could be like physical limitations that they have. But running routes is the number one. Well, I guess catching the football is number one.
Right.
But your hands are number one. Your feet is number two. You have to have good feet as a wide receiver. Or you're not gonna get open. Malachi, he's not going to be going against like Illinois and Louisville. These are going to be pro caliber NFL cornerbacks that he's going up against. The only thing with me when it comes to him, like forget what we traded him for. If he couldn't get open in college,
Hmm.
how you gonna get open in the NFL? Unless you're schemed open somehow. Um, like you said, his motor, like maybe that's the only reason he will slip to the third round because when you asked about his hands, he catches everything
Right.
down the field, high catch rating down the field, contested catches out the wazoo, but they all contested catches because he's never open unless it's like he finds an opening in the zone or something. But on man, and if he's getting pressed, like say I would like to see him and Colton Hood battle it out in training and like rookie camp and training camp.
Hmm.
Because if it's up to Colton Hood, Malachi Fields would not catch a ball unless he actually jumped over him
Right.
or outmuscled him somehow. He won't be open when it comes to Colton Hood because he's the type of corner that he gets up all in your chest at the line of scrimmage.
Hmm.
Malachi Fields, that's not good for him. He's strong enough to get off it, but his feet aren't fast enough to get away from anybody.
I'm I'm concerned about him mentally. Like when you hear like that type of inconsistency in performance,
Hmm.
I'm like, what is that about? Is that a mental issue? Like, can you easily be taken out of taken out of the game? Like what is that about? So yeah, we'll see.
And
We'll see.
that's one of the only reasons when it comes to like the strength and weaknesses. If you notice, they're usually, for me, they're usually physical
Yeah.
because I can't mark that down as a weakness because even if you did see it on film, you don't know why he acted that way.
Right. That's true.
Might be completely different in the NFL. He might have problems on and off the field. You
True.
never know. But when it comes to the physical stuff that you see on tape, you can't hide that. It is what it is. If you can't get open, you can't get open.
Right.
It's no reasons for you not to be able to get open except for weaknesses,
Right.
like the physical ones. At least to me, unless your coach could be bad, it could be a bad scheme. You could have a bad offense, but he went to Notre Dame. You know what I'm saying? Like he didn't go to Chattanooga State. Like he went to Notre Dame, who had a very good team. They had two running backs drafted in the first round, and he's one of the reasons. Look at the third strength: dominate as a run blocker. So you could already tell with the type of wide receiver and what we're going for as a wide receiver
Right.
going forward with the running game.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go back to the trade and why I really hate it, just because we gave up that fourth round next year, which is supposed to be a deep draft. We already was kind of handcuffed by not having a third this year. I think we're probably gonna have to, depending on how the draft flows, we might end up making another trade to get another pick next year. And it's just an ongoing snowball effect that I don't like when it comes to that. And
Yeah.
regardless of who it was, whether it was Malachi Fields or anybody else, I think I might have just preferred having that fourth and fifth pick and my fourth pick for next year because they went up a whole round, Steph. That's why they had to give up a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
It's not like when we got leapfrog for the defensive tackle and they just had to move up a couple spots. We moved up a entire round. It was like it was a 30 pick gap for where we moved up.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah.
So not only that you had to give up the fourth and fifth this year, but a fourth next year too, not a fifth or a sixth. Like
Yeah.
that's a
Is
prime.
that negotiable though, or is that like
They use a
like
chart.
there's a chart? Yeah.
Yeah, they use a chart, but it's still negotiable though. You don't
Okay.
have to go by the chart, but they have a point system. Every team does.
Mhm.
It's called like a draft Bible or whatever.
Mhm.
Like they have
Mhm.
a point system. You don't have to take that deal, or you did not have to give up that fourth pick unless you really, really wanted that pick, and they really, really wanted Malachi Fields.
Yeah. Aren't we in line though for a
Compensatory.
a compensatory fourth rounder for next year?
A lot of people say that it is for right now, but a lot of stuff can happen that goes with the. I tried to explain this last show, and I don't have a clear explanation of it now. Like even if you try to look it up and Google it, there's nobody knows what they're going to get
Right.
until like March of next year before the draft.
Wow.
And the stuff that can happen, the people that go away from your team, how much playing time they get, it's like a chart system that
Yeah.
they use, and we'll never know what we get until like before the draft, just like
Yeah.
every year, I think.
Yeah.
um yeah, so since we did not have it, we got to think about this. We missed the fourth round, the entire fourth round, and the entire fifth round.
Mm.
Fourth and fifth rounders usually make your football team. So we just ended the portion of the draft that those players are going to be on the team. We done.
Mhm.
It's just those four players. Everybody else for the rest of the show could get going if they want to.
Right.
First up is Bobby Jameson Travis. Big dude, not a pass rusher, run stuffer, just like the guys that kind of like the guys that I talked about in the beginning of the show. Um, he's going to be good for like he's smart. Um, he's a veteran. One of his weaknesses I have that he just turned 25. By
Mhm.
comparison, our two first rounders are only 20.
Mm.
So he's a grown ass man over there. He got like
Mhm.
a wife and a couple kids over there compared to them. I use that as a joke, but I think he really does have like a
Oh,
couple. Like he
okay.
talked about how, like his driving force is like his family, and he said kids like plural. So he has multiple kids. I don't know if he have a wife, but hopefully he's a family man and he's grounded and he has a good head on his shoulders. But him being that old coming into the draft is a minus on it because when you talk about having like a second contract, hopefully if he does get it, he's a 6 round pick, so we're projecting a lot. But say we did get him for a second contract, by the time he gets to that second contract, he's going to be damn near 30 years old already.
Yeah, listen. He he a one contract. If we could just get 3 years, we could get 3 years out of him. We good. With second contract, like yeah,
But yeah, other than him being a run stuffer, strong at the point of attack, like he's just a prototypical run stuffing nose tackle in the middle of the field. There's nothing. I don't want to say it's nothing special about him because it's kind of seemed like I'm trying to crap on him, but he's picked in the 6th round for a reason. Like he's minimum pass rushing skills. Um, he's just going to be reliable, and hopefully he can get to behind the line of scrimmage and get to the running back. But for the most part, he's just there to pick up like double teams and stuff like that. Hopefully, he'd be good enough to do that. So I'm gonna go through these dudes quick because, like I said, they are in the 6th round. I do have slides and strengths and weaknesses for both. So if anybody want to read it on the screen, cool. But J.C. Davis is just kind of like Bobby with the last pick. Big dude, 4 year starter. Heavy hands, he's big, strong, but he's not quick. He's kind of slow. Has trouble with like speed rushers off the edge. He's a tackle, but he might kick into inside because of that, because of his slow feet. But hopefully, if he does make it, it'll probably be inside, I would guess, or maybe a swing tackle. But I don't think he's good enough to be locked in at one position, and they just stick him there, and that's it. He's like a project because of the talent. He's one of the older dudes too. But when I say older, he's still way younger than it. Like he's still only 22.
damn, that's considered old.
Yeah, well, consider you got to think about it. If you not old, Bobby is old. That 25 is old. 22, he's not old, but he wasn't like he wasn't a blue chip prospect that could leave after 3 years. Let's just say that. But he was a 4 year starter at two different schools though. He went to Illinois, but I think his first stint was in, I'm not sure. I want to say New Mexico, but I could be wrong. But he was a 4 year starter and one of those dudes that came out of high school that was supposed to be a high prospect. And then our last pick was Jack Kelly. I seen Jack Kelly play multiple times. I seen BYU a few BYU games. I like he type of dude that's been flying around the field. Good blitzer. He kind of reminds me of Micah McFadden, like I started linebacker from last year. That got hurt. A lot of similarities when it comes to them too. High motor, tough. He hits. Not really that good in space. Good blitzer, and he is definitely going to be on special teams. Like he plays special teams at BYU. And he's just one of them crazy people that likes to fly down the field and hit people.
You think he has a good chance of making the team over the other two, or a better chance?
Yeah, I actually do, just because of the value that he's going to do on special teams. The other two dudes not going to play special teams. But him just going down there and smacking people around, that's exactly what we need Jack Kelly for. So, and it's not like he can't play defense. He's not going to be a starter for us or anything, but, he could be a depth piece, third or fourth linebacker coming off the bench on the inside, and he can rush the passer like he has experience when it comes to that too. He's not a pass rusher, but he's a good blitzer, and he will smack the quarterback behind the line of scrimmage if he gets a chance to. Yeah, of course, these last guys are practice squad. Like, yeah, you be on the practice squad when it comes to stuff like this. Or hopefully, when it comes to Jack Kelly, I could see him being on the active roster because of special teams. But he's not going to play no defensive snaps, though. least I wouldn't think unless something went wrong. Like we got multiple injuries at linebacker. And that's it for the draft. Um, I don't know if anybody have any questions about the dudes that I kind of went through them fast,
Hmm.
but I
You were
don't know.
thorough though.
Well, thank you.
It's
It's
a
been
vanilla Keena thing. Look, you can't be getting a lot of you can't be getting a lot of airplay. Okay.
right. You never know what these dudes, because remember, I think the first draft show that I did on here, I remember remember I had like highlights and stuff like that.
Hmm.
I don't do
Hmm.
that anymore because I might get like struck down like I did before.
Hmm.
I don't want to risk that. But I was like, we're putting all this time and all these prospects just for Evan Neal to be Evan Neal.
Mm.
I'm up there looking at offensive line tape stuff in the middle of the night. I ain't doing that. Depending, like it has to be afterwards. Like I looked up Francis Mariota stuff after the draft. When it comes to offensive line, I'm not sitting there. I got a job and stuff. I got a
Right,
family.
right, right,
We got the Knicks. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Salute to the Knicks. Yeah, I can't be looking at game tape 3 o'clock in the morning on offensive line, man. I just
No.
get too bored. But when it comes to the wide receivers, though, Steph, I was burning the candle on both ends. And I'm not gonna lie, because there was a few
You
wide
know
receivers that we
Malachi
could have done.
well.
He like I looked at him a lot, especially after we drafted. But I looked at him before we drafted because he had a good Senior Bowl. And when it comes to the Giants, we pick a lot of Senior Bowl people, especially the ones that do well down there. And
Mhm,
he was a monster at the Senior Bowl. I actually thought that he was going to be picked in the second round,
mhm.
and I think they did too. And when he slid to the third, that's why they did that trade.
Right, right,
I think he slid. I think he was. I think after the Senior Bowl, he was definitely going to be picked in the second round. He just slid for some reason.
right.
Uh, hey, salute to Ron.
Salute, Ron. Been a minute.
Salute, salute. What Ron said. He said, "I'm happy with the direction the New York Giants are going in. This year should be fun. Yeah, it should definitely be fun at least.
Yeah, yeah.
And winning, long as we start winning or actually look like we're into the games to win.
Hmm.
Tough losses are going to be tough and look ugly, but you have to remember this is the first year of the coach, and we have a young team. And our starting quarterback is only his second year.
Yeah.
Undrafted free agents. I got no information on none of these dudes except for I'm gonna give y'all a game on 3 of them though, real quick. Dominic Zavetta, I've seen him multiple times. I watch Michigan play all the time. Um, Kind of inconsistent a little bit his senior year, but his junior year, I think he was damn near perfect. But when it comes to inside 40 yards, he could be a little bit inconsistent this past season, but over 50, he's
Mhm.
perfect. He's one of them dudes that be on YouTube and will kick a 70-yard field goal.
Wow.
But he might miss a 40-yard one, if that makes sense. So a lot of that has to do with like consistencies of how he kicks and a lot of mental stuff too. We obviously had a terrible kicking game the last few years with the Giants, but Graham Gano is not going to be on this team anymore. So we have an open invitation when it comes to kickers. We already signed 2 of them. One of them, Jason Sanders, was the starting kicker for the Dolphins, but he got injured last year, so that's why he was on the free market. I think that's who's going to be our starting kicker, but I wouldn't like rule out Zavetta beating him out because even though he didn't get drafted, he was one of the few kickers that could have been drafted.
Right.
Thaddeus Dixon, he's a guy that I was actually shocked that wasn't drafted.
Mhm.
He was actually projected, like I think, in the 4th or 5th round. And for some strange reason, he didn't get drafted, and we scooped him up a lot. A lot of that has to do with, I think, Bill Belichick.
Mhm.
He's the starting quarterback for North Carolina. I'm a starting quarterback, head coach for North Carolina. And,
Mhm.
we always have a connection with when it comes to Bill Belichick. So when he didn't get drafted, like this was one of the first, I think he might have been the first person we signed.
Wow.
And I think that has a lot to do with Belichick. It will have to be, since he's the head coach down there. The long snapper, we might get a new long snapper next year. This year coming up. Ben Mann, I don't know anything about him, but for what people talk about, like he is a good long snapper and he might actually stick. It all depends. And the last person I want to talk about is Damon Bankston. Really, really nice juice coming out of the backfield and running back. He's not one of those dudes that I have like 15 carries in a game or something, but like screens, quick on third downs coming out of the backfield, receiving, little lightning bug coming out of the backfield. I like him, and I actually hope he does latch on to us because he can return kicks and punts also. Other than that, I don't know nothing about these dudes, except for maybe Burns at Colorado because I watch Colorado all the time, but I don't know that much about him. But other than that, most of these dudes are just going to be camp bodies. Hopefully, if they don't latch on with the team, they'll be practice squad. But Zavada has a chance. Dixon definitely has a chance. Man has a chance just because his position is only one of those per team, just like the kicker. And Blackston, I would hope he has a chance because he's better than, I think he's better than Eric Gray, who we have in our building now. And Turbo Miller, both of them are really, really fast, but for some strange reason, Turbo Miller just can't, he can't get no playing time, so he might leapfrog him. But I really like David Blackston, though.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to following training camp, following mini camp, getting whatever news I can get coming out in terms of who's looking good, who's not looking good. I'm looking forward to that.
It starts Thursday.
Oh wow!
OTA start Thursday. I'm. That's one of the reasons I had to get this show out. Like we ready. Like I'm ready for action. Like it's time to get. It's time to start hitting, man. Put the pads on. It ain't gonna be no real hitting right now.
Yeah.
They might have the helmet on and some jerseys and stuff and run around, but I'm always gonna be ready for football.
Did they have rookie mini camp already?
No.
No. Okay.
I think that's
after
after.
OTAs.
Yeah, I think that's after.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't think so. I would have definitely heard news about that, and I don't remember no pictures or anything like that. So no, they definitely did not have rookie minicap yet. But it's coming.
Up, man. I'm pumped up, man.
I'm pumped up too. Well, stuff. That's the show. I don't know if anybody have any other questions in the chat. Salute to everybody. Dwayne, Corey, Ron came through. Anybody else watching? Like and subscribe to the channel. Any other questions, Steph, about the draft or anything? About the team or whatever?
No. I'm looking forward to not even preseason, like I said, OTAs, mini camp, all of that. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm so ready. The only reason what's holding me over right now is just because the Knicks in the playoffs.
Right.
We ain't used to that all the time. I'll be so ready for football by the time May comes.
Right. And the Knicks are looking like it's going to be a significant overlap, right? Because it looked like the Knicks might go far. So we'll see.
We shall see, man. Like by the time June come and be really football time, getting in the groove, and hopefully the Knicks will still be playing. Salute to Corey saying Blackston will beat out Gray. I hope so, because Gray, I'm not a big fan of Eric Gray. I wasn't really a fan when we actually drafted him. So if we could get this guy off the couch, not drafted, I think he could beat Eric Gray, and he's definitely a better kick returner because we had to use Gray at kick returns too. John Harbaugh ain't having that no more. I can't see it. No. Well, salute to everybody. Good show, Steph. Any last words?
Shout out to you for just putting this together and just being consistent. With the channel and just having a place where us Jet fans. Oh my goodness, we're us giant.
We all tired. That's
right. Where us giant fans can come and talk about our team. So yeah.
When the Knicks play? When our next show?
The next Wednesday night at MSG, and then double dip on Thursday. Jeff and I'll have the show at 12:30, and then we'll have the weekly show at 9 on the next night, Thursday. So
cool. God willing, I would definitely be there. I would see you there, and hopefully everybody that's watching the channel, if you're a Knicks fan, we'll see you on Steph's channel on Dope Soul.
Yep.
Like I said, like and subscribe to the channel. I don't never say that. I got to force myself to say that every show.
Like and subscribe to the channel.
and subscribe to the channel.
Yeah.
And see y'all soon. Peace.
Peace.